Hello, good day. Yeah, in this class, we are going to look at fractions, resolving problem in fractions with the help of shapes. Specifically, this class is made for teachers and parents who love maths. And the question before us on the board is a fraction, and we can see that the denominator of this fraction is 5, while the denominator of this fraction is 2. Now we're looking at a situation. How do we really explain fractions? It has to do with either addition or subtraction. When the denominators are different, it is very easy for children to understand the addition or subtraction of fractions when the denominators are same. For instance, we have 6 over 9, 6 over 9 minus 3 over 9. It's very easy for them to handle because the denominator are the same. But when the denominators are quite different, it becomes somehow tedious for them to handle. Now, the essence of this class is for us to use our shapes and lines, to achieve this without difficulty. Okay? Now, what do we do here? If you are given a fraction like this, the first thing you have to do is we have to make use of this type of lines, horizontal lines, vertical lines, and thirdly, we're going to make use of shapes. Make use of what? Shapes. And our shapes here will be, we're going to be making use of a rectangle to achieve this. Okay? Just sit down and watch to the end. Okay? Right, let's look at this. Now, if you are given a fraction of this nature and you want to explain it to children who do not understand the concept of LCM, lowest common multiple, or the lowest common, the least common multiples of numbers, okay, then we can conveniently make use of this approach to illustrate this and still get our answer. So here, what you do first, you pick A. The first thing you do, each of these fractions, you assign a line that you know that you will be needed to illustrate it. For instance, this will have 2/5. Now we assume that the line we will use for it is vertical lines. Vertical lines. Then, secondly, we have a half there. Here, since we have used vertical line, we use the next one. We use horizontal lines for this. Horizontal lines to illustrate this shape. And like I said we're going to make use of rectangles to do so. Okay, now let's illustrate this this shape. Make it very convenient. Okay, this is 1/2. Let's draw the second shape as well. Okay, we've said that the first shape we're going to use this line, vertical lines, to illustrate it. That means this shape we're going to cut it into 5 equal parts. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this is the shape here. The denominator is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here the numerator is 2. So we will shade 2 of this to illustrate the shape to 5th. Then we said the other lines, the other fraction, we will use horizontal lines. So here, if we're using horizontal, that means the line will be like this. The vertical line is of this nature, horizontal line is of this nature. Okay, so here we'll cut this shape into 2, and the numerator here is R. So we're going to shade one part of it. Okay, so we've been able to illustrate the shapes, the fraction with their corresponding or with their respective shapes. Okay, then the next thing to do here, because we are trying to look at how do we now look for the LCM here. Okay, the next thing for us to do is that we look at this fraction here, this first fraction here is 2/5, right? We look at the denominator here. It's 5. The denominator is 5, and we said that we are using vertical line for it. So we will transfer this one to this fraction. Well, that is this fraction. Now we will cut it into 5 equal parts. So come here, we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? We'll be able to make this shape half to look like this. Then we'll look at the second fraction here. The denominator is what? Half. We will now transfer it to the first fraction, which is this one now. We'll cut it into, the line here is horizontal. So we'll come to this fraction here, we'll cut this one into. So that these two fractions are now made the same. So with this, we can now conveniently now get our LCM. Our LCM here is very simple. You don't have to use the two shapes. You just pick one of the shape. Count all the equal parts together. That will just give you your LCM. So here, we will look at the denominator of this fraction, which is now our LCM. We can just take one shape. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So here, we put 10 here. Because of the fact that we are doing addition, so we count all the shaded parts together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So here we come and our numerator becomes 9 over 10. Okay? So that's it. For instance, assuming this one is subtraction, what we need to do by the time we count this, we deduct it from this one and we also get our answer. So we've seen that with the help of this, we are able to get our answer. Now, for instance, ordinarily, if I use it as an adult, if I use it that our own approach, the one we really understood that has to do with LCM, we will draw our line and we'll look for the LCM of 5 and 2, which is very easy for us to get. So LCM of 5 and 2, because these two numbers, they are prime numbers, we can obtain their LCM, their least common multiples, by just looking for their product, which is also 10. Okay? Then the next thing is that you pick this LCM, you divide it by the denominator of this fraction. The result so obtained, you multiply it by the numerator. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. 2 times 2, that gives 4. Okay? And our operation sign here is addition. Then you pick this LCM again. 10 divided by 2, that gives 5. The result so obtained, you use it to multiply the numerator of the fraction here. And that gives 5 times 1, that gives us what? 5. And you can see 4 plus 5, that gives us 9 over what? Over 10. You see that our answer, they are the same. So we can now see that it is very easy, with the help of shapes and lines, we can conveniently resolve fractions whose denominator are different. Okay, the first thing you must do is to see that you pick the first fraction, you assign the line to it, you take the second fraction, you assign the line to it, you illustrate it with the help of the shape. The first one is 2/5. You cut this one into 5 parts. Then you shade two parts of it. You come to this, say this is horizontal, you draw it and you cut it into two parts, two equal parts, then you shade the one portion. Then the next thing is that you look at the denominator of the first fraction, you carry it, because you said it's a vertical line, you come here and cut this one into 5 equal parts. Similarly, you look at this the second fraction here, the denominator, which is 2, you come into the first fraction and cut it into 2 equal parts. Then your result is as good. For you to obtain the LCM, like I said, you just pick one of them. You don't need to count the two together, just one, because they are already the same shape. So here, you count everything here, everything 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That gives you your denominator. Your numerator is just all the shaded portion. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And that gives our answer. Okay? It's very simple. If you follow the step bit by bit, you will catch up with this approach. It's good for kids who do not understand the concept of LCM, especially the fractions so given the denominator are different. So I'll catch up with you in our next video. Please help me share, help me subscribe as well. Thank you. See you in our next class.